Right, so in today's mini episode, we're going to be piecing together like some of the interior, like the small things like the glove box, the panels under there. These pillar covers, so I think that's the B pillar, they need putting back on this A pillar. I'll take that one off for now because obviously I need to take the windshield out anyway, but at least I can get things like the glove box in, at least clear a lot of this stuff up in here, just to make it a bit easier to work on in the near future. But just for the sake of making space, I'm going to put the glove box in first, so we can at least slide that in for now. Chuck it open, and that allows us to actually bolt everything back in. Step one done. Not the most secure thing in the world, actually. I don't know what they're supposed to look like, but hey, it's on and it works. This front panel's loose. That probably needs gluing down again. But stage one done. Honestly, this little shelf that Volvo made for this car is so useful, especially if you're working on a car. You can keep your bolts there. The other thing I want to do, Whiteland Restorations, if you are watching this, that I forgot what it's called, that fascia plate you made, if you're willing to make one and ship it out to me, I'll obviously pay for it. That's exactly what I've been after for this. It's the only one that looks dead cool and kept the heaters in that location. I don't want to move them down lower. It looks perfect there, and your design was fantastic. If you want to do one, I'll happily pay for it. So the next step is to take all the bits out the interior again. I've already done it once before, but we'll do that again just so we know what's now in there and what's not, and then start piecing everything together again. I've even got my daughter helping in the car there as well. Taken all the bits up. I've got a little Volvo parts bag. These are all the parts I found in here with like the screws. I mean, that's just a good fuse that fell out, clips, etc. And that there is the plate for that. It snapped almost immediately. I believe I've still got all the parts out, so I'm going to glue them all together. I do want this headliner black. Whoops. I do want this headliner to be black, so I'm going to do what Whiteland Restorations did with the suede. I've done it on a few cars where I've done like a sort of galaxy tapestry type deal, but that's what I want to do with the headliner. I just need it repaired, so I'll show you that quickly now as well. So this is the absolute state it's in. The sunroof obviously leaked over that many years. It just destroyed all the cardboardy MDF type stuff in there. So my hope is to reinforce all of this again with new cardboard. So once that's all reinforced, this will be, I'm just going to glue over this because there's no point. Something fell in. There's no point in taking all this off to have like a bare broken thing. So here we go, she looks a million times better. Even got the glove box in now. It's starting to look a lot more like a car, even did down there. Still need to repair that rust where the door hinge is, especially there's a big old hole there. What I do want to know, excuse me, fat bloke wiggling around and gone, is obviously if you take these out, I've just took these out and vacuumed up all the rust particles in there. I need to repair that too, by the way. Is there, like, I don't want to take it off because it hurts my bloody hands. Is there a way to clean up there? Because the only way I've got is this panel here. So I can unbolt that. Ow! It's very uncomfortable, this is. So I can unbolt that, maybe get the hoover down. I think that may work. But before I do that and reseal it all, if anyone can tell me in the comments, that'll be fantastic. This was flocked, so that might need reflocking now because it's all gone. That is also what I'm going to be doing for the dash at some point because it's all cracked. As you can see, I'm not a big fan of the carpets that go on top of them. So I want to pretty much fill in the cracks with just some normal body filler and just flock the whole thing. I think it will look quite nice, suit the car quite well, give it a bit of a rally vibe. So not much happened in this video. It's pretty much getting the interior to a decent standard where I can actually start fitting things. The reason I haven't put the pillars on, which I wanted to, is I completely forgot that when they come off, because it's such thin plastic and it's old plastic too, it's really brittle, so parts of it has broken off. So I've got some actual plastic adhesive now, so we can glue those back together. The backs are in fine. I just need to put those seatbelt cover thing on, and yeah, I mean, same happened with that one as well. This, I forgot what it's called, the centre, that's not the centre console, is it? The handbrake cover area. That's all good actually. Just my daughter just cleaned that for me, so that will be installed. I think it needs some screws, I can't fully remember. I've saved absolutely everything I've took off this car other than the rust because it gives me flashbacks. Because there's burn marks everywhere, even on some of the plastics there's some burns. This cigarette tray was quite heavily used, which is pretty cool. That's where you stump out your cigarette if you smoke them. There are a bunch of burn marks, but say this seat, you can probably see it, is wobbly. In here, as I mentioned I think in my last video, there's 3 bolts, which I'm going to do to both seats, and if you know what that's from, it's the seat wire mesh underneath to keep it stable. I'm buying 2 of those parts from CVR. It's like under 20 quid each, which is fine. I'm more than happy with that. So that'll give the seat some rigidity again. And as for this part, that's the actual metal pipe there. So I'm gonna do it the old-fashioned way, where you basically, I'm gonna glue these foam together and then put some jean over it, some jean material, because the foam pad's like 150 quid, which I can't afford, not for a foam pad. So yeah, that's going to be its own video because I've got to do it to the passenger seat too, and basically just do a mini rebuild of them and give these seats a good old clean. But if you want a quick tip as well to boost your foam, you can actually use a steam cleaner, hold a bunch of steam on it really close, and it sort of rejuvenates the foam a bit. So that's another thing that will be done on this. If you stuck around to the end, gotta say massive thank you. Really appreciate anybody that's subscribing and watching the videos. I don't know how frequently I'm going to be able to upload these, but hopefully more than normal now that it's actually going to be in the works, and then sooner rather than later take it for its MOT and drive it on the road, which I'm more than excited for. If you want actual good Volvo material, look at Whiteland Restorations and In Volvoed. I watch you two, well, you 3 technically, like mad, absolutely love your videos, and there are a few other channels, there's like 240 Life, etc. So if you've got one of these, or you just love the car and you want to actually watch real work being done to them, check them out. Catch you in the next one.